The story of the vanishing hitchhiker is one that exists all over the world, and most people tend to know. As with any urban legend, no one is quite sure where the story started, but everyone knows it, and everyone knows someone who it has happened to. This is known as the friend of a friend story, but here in Chicago, the story of the vanishing hitchhiker goes a little further. The story of the vanishing hitchhiker always begins with someone stopping to pick up a beautiful young lady hitchhiking on the side of the road. The young girl climbs in the back seat of the car and passes along an address before falling into a deep silence. When the driver arrives at the house, he discovers that the woman has disappeared. He goes, he knocks on the door, he asks at the house, and is told that the girl died 10, 15, maybe 20 years before, and always appears on the anniversary of her death. The story has dozens of versions around the world, and in Chicago, the vanishing hitchhiker story is known as Resurrection Mary. But this is not just a tale. This is an actual accounting of Resurrection Mary as it happened to me. Well, not me. To my grandfather. Well, a friend of my grandfather's. Well, the next door neighbor's cousin who lived next to my grandfather's nephew in Canada. But I was told the story here in Chicago, about Chicago, when he was visiting from Canada in Chicago, and it goes a little something like this. Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here it goes. I was driving in my car one night down the street, heading to a Southside pub where some friends had to meet. Just chilling to Cyrus radio, not Miley. The line's kind of funny, it made me go smiley. But back to the story. As I stopped at the light, a woman stepped out wearing a dress that was white. She needed a lift, headed where I was going, so I offered a ride without her name I've been knowing. So she sat in the back, told me where to go, cause I'm from Canada, don't you know. When I got to the place for to drop her off, she was really quiet. I thought she nodded off, so I turned around, but she wasn't there. That's when I noticed that all of the hairs on my arms were standing, and that's when I knew I picked up a dead girl, and you could too. So if you're out on Arch driving at night, be sure to look out for the dead girl in white. The dead girl in